Hi there, Dr. Andrea Schnowske from Freedom Chiropractic and Holistic Health in the Peoria Metro Center and our YouTube channel, Health and Horsepower. This week, I want to talk a little bit more about why your spine is asking for mobility, not violence in the gym. Let's face it, when we are starting a new year and we're starting new habits and we're trying to get back to the gym, we are going to push ourselves balls to the wall, heavy weights, working out every day, and we're not necessarily training mobility. But here's the thing. When you look at how your joints move, your joint motion is restricted or unrestricted by your ligaments and your muscles. So if you have muscles and ligaments that surround your joints that are stretched out and don't know how to actually stabilize your joint, as you do your workouts, you're going to be at risk for actually injuring that joint, tearing those ligaments, or potentially even tearing like MCLs and things like that within your knees, or even tearing some of your rotator cuff muscles because you are working outside of normal mobility and putting excess strain and overuse and overwork on ligaments and muscles that weren't designed that way. So when it comes down to it, we want to make sure the joints are mobile first. So that means we need to work on moving our joints properly, stretching and loosening up the muscles and ligaments surrounding those joints so that they are loose, but not like inactive at all. Sometimes that means we may need to start with calisthenics. We may need to start with stretching. We may need to work on dynamic stretching where basically you are stretching through motion. So you are doing squats, you are doing walking, you're doing sideways motions, you're doing stretching overhead. You may even use some light weights. You may use body weight. You might start with simple weights and going through range of motion and just basically challenging your mobility to find out what are some areas that you're not moving properly in. What are some areas where you're restricted? So say, for example, you start trying to do overhead lifts, bench presses, you're using light weights, and you notice when you get above a certain point in your shoulder, you're getting shoulder pain. That's your body's way of telling you, hey, there is a problem here. You may have adhesions where you actually have scar tissue formation within the ligament. You may have a bone that is not moving properly within its socket that could be causing impingement and actually damaging muscles or even nerves and blood flow to the rest of your arm. You may have muscles that are stronger and working harder on one side. You may have a posture issue. It's hard to tell unless you get evaluated. So if you are going through and stretching out and seeing how your joints are moving, you're noticing, hey, I'm a lot more mobile on this side than this side. That means you might need to actually get checked out to see what's actually going on. Is there a joint issue? Is there a ligament issue? Is there a muscle imbalance issue? Is there something I need to work on balancing and correcting first before I jump into a workout program? Because let's face it, if you are only focusing on lifting weights, if you're only focusing on exercise and not restoring mobility safely first before you add weights and start to challenge those joints, you're going to set yourself up for failure. You're going to set yourself up for having pain. And sometimes you're going to have pain that continues to come back over and over again. And then you're going to have to restrict your workouts and restrict what you're doing and not able to engage in other things because you did a workout. You maximized how much you could do. Now you're in pain and that's going to last for a week. So anything else you want to do in that week, not possible because you have to recover from an injury that was due to mobility not being managed first. Now, in my office, I typically do a chiropractic evaluation and also a biomechanic evaluation. That means I am talking with you about joints or areas of your body that maybe don't work properly or maybe bother you every once in a while or with certain motions. And then we actually do an evaluation. We look at the joints, we look at the muscles, we look at the ligaments, we look at the nerve function, we look at the posture, and we look from side to side. Are you balanced? Are you using muscles more on one side? Are you weak on one side? And then we come together to form a plan for what do we need to do to get the joints moving, to get the mobility back? And if there's a muscle issue going on, how do we engage that muscle? Do we have to balance it? And coming up with a program so that you know exactly what you are responsible for at home to not only get the joint moving, but keep it moving long term and keep it mobile so that when you do your workouts, when you do what you need to do throughout your life, you know exactly what you need to be embracing and exactly what you need to do on a daily basis to work towards your goals so that you can do and live your life how you want to without having pain, without having injury, standing in your way or hurting your results and your outcomes at the gym. Or maybe you set a goal you want to get back to playing golf, but you don't even know if your body is going to let you twist that way without having horrific pain. We might need to start with square one, figuring out what's going on, where are you at right this second, and how do we need to get you to where you need to be to do those things. That's exactly what I do in my office. So if you want some personalized recommendations, I do visits virtually as well as in my office. You can go to our website, freedompeoria.org, and request an appointment, or you can call our office, 309-689-6200.